Part 3. Blood Moon's Call. The clearing where Alex and Bulbasaur had found temporary refuge felt like a sanctuary. The ancient tree's luminous moss provided a comforting glow, and for a moment it seemed as though the horrors of the forest had been left behind. But as night fell and the moon began to rise, casting a blood-red hue across the sky, an unsettling energy began to stir. Alex awoke with a start, the hairs on the back of their neck standing up. Bulbasaur was already awake, its eyes reflecting a primal wariness. The once serene clearing now felt oppressive, the glow of the moss dimming under the ominous light of the blood moon. "We need to move," Alex whispered, their voice trembling. They packed their belongings quickly, every rustle of the leaves sending a spike of fear through their heart. The forest had changed with the setting of the blood moon, and a palpable sense of danger hung in the air. As they ventured back into the forest, the whispers returned, more insistent and chilling than before. The trees seemed to close in around them, their branches like skeletal arms reaching out to snatch them away. Alex held Bulbasaur close, their footsteps quickening as they navigated the twisted paths. "Stay close, Bulbasaur. We'll get through this," Alex murmured, trying to keep their voice steady. The forest floor was treacherous, covered in gnarled roots and hidden pitfalls. Alex stumbled several times, their heart racing each time they caught themselves before falling. Bulbasaur, despite its own fear, used its vines to steady Alex, the bond between them evident in their synchronized movements. A sudden rustling in the underbrush made them freeze. Alex held their breath, their eyes scanning the darkness. From the shadows emerged a figure, its silhouette barely discernible in the dim light. It was a newsleaf, but there was something off about it. Its eyes glowed with a feral intensity, and its movements were jerky, almost unnatural. Alex's grip on Bulbasaur tightened. "Easy, Bulbasaur. We don't want to provoke it." But the newsleaf didn't seem interested in a peaceful encounter. It let out a low, guttural growl and charged at them, its claws glinting in the moonlight. "Bulbasaur, Vine Whip!" Alex shouted, adrenaline surging through their veins. Bulbasaur's vines shot out, wrapping around the newsleaf's arms and pulling it back. The creature struggled, its growls turning into snarls as it fought against the restraint. Alex could see the strain in Bulbasaur's eyes, the effort of holding back the feral Pokémon taking its toll. "Hang in there, Bulbasaur," Alex encouraged, their voice firm despite the fear gnawing at them. With a final desperate effort, Bulbasaur flung the newsleaf into a nearby tree. The creature slumped to the ground, momentarily stunned. Alex didn't wait to see if it would recover. "Run, Bulbasaur," Alex urged, and together they sprinted deeper into the forest. They soon came upon a river, its dark waters reflecting the blood moon. A rickety wooden bridge spanned the river, swaying ominously in the wind. It looked ancient, as if a single misstep could send them plunging into the depths below. Alex hesitated, the sound of the rushing water below adding to their anxiety. "We have to cross," they said, more to themselves than to Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur nodded, its bulb glowing faintly in the darkness. Alex took a deep breath and stepped onto the bridge, the wood creaking under their weight. They moved slowly, testing each plank before committing their full weight. Bulbasaur followed, its vines wrapped around the ropes for balance. Halfway across, the wind picked up, causing the bridge to sway violently. Alex's heart pounded in their chest, their grip on the ropes tightening. A sudden loud crack echoed through the air as one of the planks gave way beneath them. Alex stumbled, barely catching themselves on the ropes. "Bulbasaur, be careful!" Alex shouted, their voice barely audible over the howling wind. Bulbasaur nodded, its vines gripping the ropes even tighter. They continued, inching their way across the precarious bridge. Each step felt like an eternity, the sense of danger growing with every creak and groan of the ancient wood. As they reached the other side, a sense of relief washed over them. But it was short-lived. The whispers returned, louder and more insistent. They spoke of lost souls and forgotten memories, their voices intertwining in a haunting melody. "Lost. Forever. Join us." Alex shook their head, trying to clear their mind of the eerie voices, but they seemed to seep into their very thoughts, filling them with a sense of despair. Bulbasaur pressed closer, its presence a comforting anchor in the sea of darkness. They pressed on, the path ahead growing narrower and more treacherous. The trees seemed to close in, their branches like skeletal fingers reaching out to snatch them away. Alex felt a chill run down their spine as they caught glimpses of movement in the corner of their eye, shapes flitting through the trees, just beyond the edge of the light. Eventually, they stumbled upon a clearing, its center dominated by an ancient stone altar. The ground was littered with bones and remnants of forgotten rituals. The air was thick with the scent of decay and old magic, a feeling of dread settling over them. Alex approached the altar cautiously, their eyes scanning the surroundings for any signs of danger. The whispers were louder here, almost deafening in their intensity. "Lost, forgotten, join us." A sudden movement caught their eye. From the shadows emerged a dust noir, its single eye glowing with an eerie light. It floated above the ground, its presence exuding an aura of malevolence. "Bulbasaur, be ready," Alex whispered, their voice barely audible. The dust noir let out a low, haunting moan, its gaze fixed on Alex and Bulbasaur. It raised its arms, and the ground beneath them began to tremble. Spectral hands emerged from the earth, reaching out to drag them into the darkness. "Bulbasaur, Razor Leaf," Alex commanded, their voice filled with determination. Bulbasaur unleashed a flurry of sharp leaves, slicing through the spectral hands. The dust noir snarled, its eye blazing with fury. It retaliated with a dark pulse, the wave of energy knocking Alex off their feet. Alex struggled to stand, their vision blurred from the impact. Bulbasaur stood protectively in front of them, its body glowing with a fierce determination. "Bulbasaur, we can do this. Use Solar Beam," Alex shouted, their voice hoarse. Bulbasaur began to gather energy, the bulb on its back glowing brighter and brighter. The dust noir advanced, its form flickering with dark energy. Just as it reached them, Bulbasaur unleashed the solar beam, a brilliant beam of light piercing through the darkness and striking the dust noir. The ghostly Pokémon let out a wail of agony as it was consumed by the light. The spectral hands disintegrated and the ground stopped trembling. The dust noir's form flickered one last time before it vanished, leaving behind a chilling silence. Alex collapsed to their knees, exhaustion washing over them. Bulbasaur nuzzled against them, its eyes reflecting a mixture of relief and concern. "We did it, Bulbasaur. We made it through," Alex said, their voice trembling with emotion. Bulbasaur nodded, its bulb glowing softly. They had faced unimaginable horrors and come out stronger for it. Their bond had been tested and proven unbreakable. As they sat by the ancient altar, the blood moon began to set, its crimson light fading into the darkness. The forest, though still eerie, felt less oppressive. The whispers were gone, replaced by a calming silence. "We'll rest here for a while," Alex murmured, their voice filled with determination. "Then we'll keep moving. We'll find a place where we can be happy, where we can be safe." Bulbasaur nodded, its bulb glowing softly in agreement. They curled up together beneath the ancient tree, the whispers of the forest now a distant memory. For the first time in a long while, they felt a glimmer of hope, a promise of brighter days ahead. As they drifted off to sleep, the forest watched over them, its secrets hidden within the shadows. The journey was just beginning, and the path ahead was shrouded in darkness. But together Alex and Bulbasaur would face it all, their bond the only certainty in an uncertain world. The eerie forest had tested their resolve, but it had also strengthened their determination. They had survived the whispers and the ghosts, but the challenges ahead were still unknown and ominous. Only time would tell if their bond was strong enough to see them through.